Hi, welcome to Alaskan in the Philippines, currently in Thailand. Today I thought I'd tell you all about how I feel after about 6 months and living in Asia so far. I left Alaska in July, around July 20th, so that makes this about 6 months I've been in Asia total. To back up my story, I started my trip, I flew to Dumaguete. That was into Cebu first and then on to Dumaguete. And I got an apartment there for about 440 a month. Had to pay electricity and water. It was pretty cheap too. It was less than $30 for both combined, I think. So yeah, I stayed there for almost 2 months, and I don't know, from where the location was, it was a nice place to stay. It had a swimming pool and everything. It was off the road and gated. You could hear the road though right next to you. It was pretty loud. It wasn't that close, but it's just those motorcycles in the Philippines and trucks and stuff, they just scream by. It really hit the decibel level. Yeah, it actually drowned out the TV in there. When I would turn on the TV, I had to turn it up when a loud one go by with straight pipes or something. But actually, the location was halfway between Dumaguete and Valencia, going up towards Valencia. It was a halfway mark, about anyway. So it wasn't bad. But to get to town, I had to take a trike back and forth, and walking. There was no real sidewalks to walk out there. It was pretty dangerous. No street lights at night, so it was kind of dangerous. And I could go down and walk on the boulevard, but that would cost me like $5 to get down and back, $4 or so. I was doing it. When I go to town, I go shopping. You had to go shopping down there because there was no close supermarkets. There was a few little, small sorry stores and things around, but there was no real place to shop. No real restaurants really either. Had to go downtown for that. Same thing. There was a Crispy King where you could buy fried chicken. That was about it. Chicken stands and a lot of the local food on the road too. You could always buy that. But anyway, I got to be kind of Groundhog Day for me, and I wasn't being able to have no nightlife at all in the Philippines because everything was dark out there in Kanduay. It was just no street lights, no sidewalks to walk on, and no real nightlife markets or anything around. The only thing was Dumaguete down on the boulevard pretty much, or the North Shore, just that area around the beach. There was some nightlife there, but it wasn't much either. And I'm not a nightlife kind of guy, so that was not a problem for me. But I figured I'd get more out of life if I could actually go for a walk in the evening and stuff. So that's what I wanted to do. It wasn't to go out to party. So then, after a couple of months in the Philippines, Dumaguete, I've been there a bunch before that. For years I've been going there, and I just seen enough for at that time, and I wanted to go try something new. And I was going to have to renew my visa anyway, or get the ACR card, and I didn't really know if I wanted to do that yet. So I took off and got a ticket to Bangkok, and I wanted to check out Hue Hin. I seen online, like probably a lot of you guys do, see the videos online, and I saw it looked like a nice place. Wasn't real smoggy like in the Northeast, like Chiang Mai. They didn't have the terrible smoke, and there seemed to be a nice beach here. They said, in the videos, it looked nice. So I took the gamble and flew into Bangkok at $167 one way from Cebu. They had direct flights, and just flew into Bangkok, went downstairs, waited to eat until morning, and got a bus down here to Hue Hin. And I've been down in Hue Hin for 4 months now. And actually, I really like it, and I'm kind of glad I made the move for sure, because now they got all these night markets. I can walk on the beach in the morning, I can walk on the beach in the evening, walk on the beach in the afternoon. It's safe. There's even a sidewalk if I want to walk out in the street. There's a lot more housing and stuff, condos available here. So that's a big thing, When you leave the U.S., you're gonna have your biggest expense is gonna be your place to stay and your food, really, and then you can think of your visa too. Those main expenses. So you got to move, if you're going to hit Asia, you might want to hit a place that's got some cheaper rent and plenty of available. I didn't get a sense and abundance of places to rent around Dumaguete. It was kind of picked over, if you ask me. There wasn't really much available when I tried to rent a place. I was lucky to find the one unit I did. Everything was kind of full. And there ain't much for condos there. They were just building this Marina Spatial and just had one of them up, and they were building another one. But anyway, yeah. But anyway, I figure after I left the U.S. and got out here to Asia, you know, my life it got quite a bit easier. I don't have to chop wood. I don't have to pack water and stuff. I used to have a well. In the wintertime, I didn't have a line, so I had to pack buckets of water to the house. It's a lot of work shoveling snow, keeping the snow away from, you know, shoveling my snow machine out, my trails out, my wood pile, chopping wood. It was a lot of work. So it made big sense for me to move to a nice warm climate here. And one thing I expected when I moved here, I was kind of worried about, and I thought I'm just going to be dripping with sweat here in Asia for the rest of my life, and it's just going to suck. Just drip, drip, sweat, constantly wringing out, changing my shirt, constantly showering like I hear. And it hasn't been that way at all. It never was, even in Dumaguete. Maybe I'm not here for the hot season yet. That's yet to come in March and April. I'll see. I'm sure it does get scorching hot, and I do not go out in the afternoon in the hot sun. I stay out of it. So if it ain't shaded, I don't go out in it. But so far, I'm not sweating at night. I don't sweat when I sleep. I don't, even when I work out, I'm a no sweat workout kind of thing. I'm doing, you know, 50 push-ups at a time and stuff, or 100 actually, and sit-ups and stuff, and I'm not even sweating here. It's real dry here in Hue Hin. This is kind of like a desert environment. It hasn't rained for over a couple of months, going on 3 months. So everybody don't seem to be concerned about it. It's normal desert, I guess. So anyway, it's kind of nice here, nice and dry, and there's the beach here. So life in Asia, you know, is much better for me. You know, it's nice and clean. The street sweepers get out every morning. You don't see that in the U.S., you know. There's a whole army of old ladies that get out and they sweep up all the leaves and pick them up and bag them up, and they make sure the sidewalk. You don't even want to throw a cigarette butt around here or spit on the sidewalk. You feel guilty, you know. It's just so clean. Generally, a lot of the areas around the shop, there is litter and pollution problems in Asia. That is a thing, you know. Pick where you're going to live too, you know. Places like Bangkok, you're going to have, you know, a lot of smog. I hear they're getting real bad in the smoke right now, and the smog level is like they're the 13th most smoggiest in the world right now. I guess we're getting bad down here in Hue Hin a little bit. They say the particulate level is kind of bad here, but it's a little haze. I don't see it as bad. I don't smell it and feel it in the lungs or anything. So I ain't too worried about it, but it's a little more than it was. So that's something to consider if you're moving to Asia. But anyway, so I'm here in Hue Hin, and I think it's nice for my retirement so far after 6 months. I like it, and I'm glad I came leaving the U.S. You know, I noticed that's another, you know, if I fly back to the U.S., which I did, I came to Asia about 7 or 8 times before I actually retired. I went to Dumaguete, and I checked around a few places in the Philippines. I've been to Cebu and Bangkok a little bit. So I looked around a little bit before I retired. And everybody said this was the place. They said Dumaguete was the place, and I don't know. It would be if you could find the right location to be where you could walk around and be around the restaurants. I think that's what discouraged me at the time, was my location. And that's everything, you know. Here in Hue Hin, everything's along a big long strip, and it's noisy along that road, but there's no honking like there is in the Philippines. That's one nice thing about it. And there's street lights and places to cross and stuff. So it's nice. There's some overpasses when you're walking. You can get across the road without playing chicken like you have to in the Philippines everywhere. If there's no traffic lights or nothing, you know. So yeah, Asia can be scary to cross in the roads. That's a whole new video I should do on that sometime, because that is a thing you got to kind of worry about. That's one of your bigger worries in Asia. You probably don't have to worry about getting robbed in Asia. And you're probably worried about getting in an accident or getting run over. I mean, it happened to me almost 50 times probably. This morning again, almost run over again. Just walking in between 2 bikes going. It's scary. They're pretty good. They know what they're doing. I had to put your trust in them, you know. And there's only certain places you can cross, and that's what happens. You got to walk through it. It's a gauntlet. So yeah, that's one thing about living in Asia. You got to be able to negotiate the traffic, whether you're driving or walking. It's risky, much riskier than the U.S. for sure. You know, even the stoplights, they don't mean stop. When here, if they see a bunch of people standing on the sidewalk and the light goes red for them, there'll still be a few motorcycles that'll just not ignore it and whip through before you can walk out in the road. And then when you walk out in the road, and if you get past and there's no more coming, they all just take off. It ain't like they're all going to sit there for a red light for nothing. This is Asia. There's no traffic laws, but they're pretty good about it. They do stop for it, you know. Most of them, the motorcycles will start they think it don't apply to them, a lot of them. So be watching that in Asia. But yeah, whenever you can cross at a overpass or a stoplight, that's the way to do it, you know, and walk where it's safe. Find a safe place when you retire, if that's what you want to do. If you want to get out, you know, a lot of people ain't coming here to just vlog 100 countries and be active. They're just trying to settle in a routine. They're old and out of shape and tired, and they've worked their whole life and their bodies wore out. They just kind of want to get into a nice routine where they can have things easy and local and not have to work too hard or travel too far. And if you find hit yourself in the right spot in Asia, it can be a pretty easy thing, you know. Like for where I am right now, the hospital's right across the road, the malls are right down the road, the beach is right here in front of the building, the main roads are on the other side of the building. You know, you can just jump in a bus and go up to the other end of town for, 60 cents and jump another 60 cents and come back the other way. Just jump in the back of a truck. It's easier than a bus or a cab. So yeah, life can be pretty simple here. It's much more simpler than I would have had in Alaska. And for me in Alaska, it was Groundhog Day too. I wake up, I chop wood, feed my stove, feed my dogs, feed my chickens, shovel snow, chop the holes for the ice, and, check my net, bring the fish home, cook my dinner, butcher my fish, butcher my moose to eat my dinner. It was always a chore. Here I can eat cheaply and for 60 baht, no problem. Cooked food is available. I've actually given up on cooking. There's no need to cook here. There's so much food available. You just got to choose healthy. That's one thing. Just stick with the proteins and try to, everything has rice. You got to find special order things without rice, and that's what I do. Stay away from the foods that'll make you fat and die quicker. That's my theory when retiring. But here it's really easy that you could get lazy and overweight here pretty easy. So you have to work hard to stay in shape, and that's what I'm trying to do here in my retirement so far. 6 months into it. I'll be 63 here pretty soon, and I'm still going. I still want to keep going, and there's plenty more Asia for me to explore. As far as back to the U.S., like I say, when I fly back to the U.S., I go into the Seattle airport, and it's just puddles of urine all over, no towels, no tissue, plugged up toilets, some DEI hires standing there doing nothing about it, and it sucks. The parks are dirty and it's unsafe. Anchorage is just it's brown snow. I don't like it. It's beautiful in the summer, but it's getting unsafe, and prices are so crazy high in Alaska. I had to get out of there. I couldn't afford it. I don't have no big money coming in. I just got my Social Security, and Asia was one of my few options. I'm kind of not here by choice. I'm here because of necessity, really. Fits my budget much more. The U.S., where I was living in Alaska, gas was $10 a gallon. Stove oil to heat the house was $10 a gallon. How can you go for a boat ride? Our boats suck up a lot of gas. Put your boat in the water to go hunt or get wood. We need to get wood to survive the winter, and it's just costing too much. I couldn't do it anymore. Luckily, my daughter's there. She's got a good job. She makes good money, but it's cost a lot of money to live there anymore. For me, I couldn't do it anymore I had to, retire. I could have a hard time retiring there. It would have been a tough life if I would have stayed there. So yes, I'm better off here in Asia so far. The first 6 months are going great. I couldn't ask for more. The weather's been beautiful. The food's great. It's a bit lonelier life, and keep that in mind when you give up all your friends and come out here. You got to make new friends, and it can be difficult if you're in an area where everybody don't speak English, or most of them are Europeans that speak other languages. It can be hard. So That's one challenge that so far I've ran into here. I'm slowly meeting a few people and making friends, and that's always good. But yeah, so far I like it in Asia, and I plan to stay another 6 months, and I'll give you an update in a year. Maybe things will change, but so far I'm here, and I'm going to explore, possibly go back to the Philippines and explore there some more, in some other countries, maybe Vietnam and Cambodia yet. We'll see what comes up in this next 6 months here soon. Well, thanks for all of you for watching, subscribing, and liking. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.